What is Turbonique?
Turbonique was a company established in 1962 to bring rocket-powered items to the motoring world. A fellow named Gene Middlebrooks, who had worked in the aerospace industry prior, I guess basically a rocket scientist, for lack of a better term, thought he could offer the public mainly speed equipment to be used on a variety of applications to improve the power of your vehicle or simply power the vehicle itself with the Turbonique products. The company was very unique. It was the only company of its kind really ever in the market. They offered a variety of products from thrust engines that were intended to be mounted on your semi-truck to help it assist up hills, to mount them on everything from go-karts to motorcycles for drag racing applications.
Interesting. So you originally started out more in the commercial space.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
It was one of the product, where he saw the product going was, a bit in that industrial space. They powered everything from fire pumps to hovercraft with rocket engines. So.
Right. I saw they even did a ski-doo at one point.
Yeah, there was a couple snowmobile applications. I know the Skidoo you're talking about. There's also one specifically built to use the 1,000 horsepower drag axle.
Oh, jeez.
But that taking any power from your engine of your vehicle, you could actually self-power this supercharger, which gave great performance benefits to whatever you were trying to improve the power on. Yeah, the rocket-powered superchargers. They also had a small turbine drive unit that was similar to the supercharger, but actually had a gearbox on it, so you could power your motorcycle or go-kart or whatever you needed to.
What years was Turbonique active?
Roughly from 1962 till 1969. They were shut down in 1969. From the start, I think Gene was quite the innovator, coming up with different products. They had a fairly extensive product line, considering the short time they were in business. We have a go-kart here with us that's got two of the 1,500-pound thrust engines on it, which roughly equates to 6,000 horsepower on a 600-pound go-kart. They did offer a couple different sizes. There was a spherical unit that I believe was around 650 pounds of thrust, as well as smaller oblong football-shaped unit that was probably in the 800 pounds of thrust range. And these are mounted on everything from the go-kart you see here to motorcycles, as well as I've seen pictures of them mounted on vehicles as well as a rocket assist. Nice thing with the thrust, they're fairly easy to install as far as a rocket goes. Basically bolt it to whatever you want to propel and tie in the fuel system, and it's ready to go. No modifications required to your existing engine. Just add the thrust and you've got an extra up to 6,000 horsepower, or you could have gone further too, I guess, with more multiples.
It's just that easy.
Just that easy, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So for sort of systems like this, the thrust engines, these ones right here, basically 3,000 and some change horsepower on each of them.
Correct.
What were some of the other sizes that they were running with?
They had a spherical rocket engine that they offered on a go-kart. You could mail order from them. Those were roughly in the 650 pounds of thrust range. And then there was a smaller oblong-shaped rocket engine as well, and that's probably in the 800 pounds thrust range.
What kind of fuel was this running on? What was so special about Thermoline?
Yeah, so the fuel that the systems used, the trade name was Thermoline. It was a self-oxidizing fuel or monopropellant. Basically, as it broke down, provided its own oxygen, so it did not require oxygen to run. So theoretically, these engines could run in space or underwater as well as on the road. The fuel system, fairly simple. It consisted of the Thermoline tank, which was your fuel tank. That tank would then be pressurized with nitrogen to act as a fuel pump or push. Brief history on this go-kart. This kart was the only kart ever put together with two of the 1,500-pound thrust engines, roughly 6,000 horsepower. The one time this kart was taken out, the first and only time it ran, was taking a drag strip down in Florida near Turbonique after they had set it up. As the story goes, the operator got out, the rider got out about 2.5 seconds into the run. The kart went airborne, ended up on the grass on the side of the track. They figured it was well in excess of 150 miles an hour in that 2.5 seconds. That was the only time that kart ever ran. From what I've heard, the fellow that owned it had a welding shop, I believe, in New Jersey. He would fire it off occasionally for people that came by his shop, probably when kids came by and whatnot. So it had a bit of history in that area, but Turbonique also spun the incident of it coming off the ground into a advertising campaign or an advertising gimmick for themselves, saying the cart was too much, and it became known as the too much cart. Basically saying NHRA had outlawed it, but fact of the matter was I don't think they could find anyone else to ride it.
So about how many of these carts actually exist?
There's only one of this cart. They did have a mail order cart with two of the 650-pound thrust engines on it, the spherical engines we talked about earlier. And numbers range anywhere from 5 to about 8 of those carts being built. As far as we know, we tracked down probably closer to 5 actually being out there. There's one in Don Garlett's museum and a couple in our collection as well.